My pleasure to introduce the first company of this batch. First up, we've got 42, presenting are Kathy Han and Nick Porter.
All right, good afternoon, TechCrunch. My name is Kathy, and this is my co-founder, Nick. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce your team. There's 5 of us split across 3 US states right now, New York, Hawaii, and Canada. And so we're kind of all over, but working on the same product. And we've had a lot of fun building this product, so I don't know if you're excited, but I'm excited to tell you today how we're going to personalize the retail store experience. So for much of the past couple of decades, a lot of the best, most customized products have come out of a couple of industries that have been around for a while. So Netflix for what was TV, Pandora for what was radio, and even smartphones for those chunky desk phones that used to be around. And so with 42, we really want to customize the in-store experience. And the reason that we're targeting this market is because it's a large market, it's growing a lot, and it's Neanderthal in the way that it adopts technology. So what we've come up with today is a way to solve a problem for a large part of the market. I think this is one of the shocking facts about the retail industry, which is that 95% of sales still comes from brick-and-mortar stores. When we go online, you feel like all these websites know you. Whatever you search will show up in your email titles. You get product recommendations. You get different product reviews. You don't get any of that rich data when you walk into a store. In fact, when you walk into a store, how the brands feel is really, quite frankly, a little confused. You know, all of us could be in the same store, and to all of them, it looks like different transactions. But there's no personality behind it. And so what we've really tried to do is assign a personality with a couple of the stereotypes that you see here. Because every single customer that comes into your store wants something different. How do you know if they're in there to be after the newest products or the sales? That's what we want to do. So we leverage the point of sale system so that, let's say, when Bruce Wayne is checking out and you know he's someone who's a business kind of purchaser and he just cares about his time and the brand, he'll walk in, buy something, we can send him a copy of the receipt, and alongside it, put in all those rich visuals with the recommended products. And so another big inspiration to really tie this back into why the brands have been so receptive of the idea is because a large part of my learnings came from P&G. So when I was working at P&G, I think the retail industry really struck me as an industry where before walking in, I thought, you know, this industry has everything figured out. They have products in 98, 99% of our households. How is it that there's still data like this, where it's so difficult when you look at it to tell how your business is doing? What we want to do is we want to turn those numbers into a really visual dashboard and an easy way for brands to tell not only how their sales are doing, but what they can do about it. So I'm going to walk you through our dashboard here, which first of all, on top, immediately you'll see how your business is performing. What's even more important is not just your sales, but secondly, what can you do about it? So right here you can see a comparison between April 2012 to 2013, and you can see that your sales are down this month. But more critically for the brand, they want to fix this problem, right? Where is this problem coming from? Definitely not from the spreadsheet that I showed you in the past. Fridays used to be a write-off for me because I had to do reporting all day. So these are the growth drivers. You can see that in the middle, 80% of your customers in the middle are actually growing and have grown last year. But why is your business declining? It's actually because there's a top percentage of loyal customers who are high dollar spenders who aren't coming back into your stores. And you should probably take measures to fix that. So down at the bottom as well, we'll show you customers. So per person sales, who's coming into the store. Is it more people or is it actually more sales? And then the most popular items. So if you go back up a little bit, and let's go to the 26%. We have a problem, let's address that problem. Let's click open the 136 people. We'll give you a list of the customers. These are the actual customers that are coming into their stores. They're the ones that are responsible for the growth of your business, for the decline of your business, what have you. So let's look up the customer Bruce Wayne and see what he's come into the store to buy. This is what he's bought in the past. Here's what he's likely to buy in the future. And there you have it, a customer profile for your customers. And next. Perfect. All right. And so one of the The reason that we started in the market we chose to start with is because retail is about $4 trillion a year, and we can't cover all of that. We went after the individual brands in the mid to high luxury tier fashion retailer, and we actually had a chance this year in February to present at New York Fashion Week and get some of the brands' thoughts and perceptions on that. And this is something we really built our dashboard based on their needs and demand. The $6 billion comes from stores that are standalone, people like Hugo Boss, people like the Kate Spades of the world who have their own brands, as opposed to mass merchandisers, because there's really these people care about providing the best experience for the customers. And we as customers deserve to be treated the way that we want to be treated, because at the end of the day, all it comes back to are these question marks. When people walk into the store, how do you know who's who? How do you know who likes what kind of products? Whether they be superheroes or individual people like you and I, we've transformed industries with customization. Industries like TV, like radio, and even smartphones. And I think now it's time that we take a step to transform an industry, brick and mortar, that's not going away, and make it customized for everyone here. Thank you.
Judges, does anyone want to jump in?
So that's pretty interesting. When I lived in Japan, when I walked in a store, every salesperson over there was really happy, saying hi. Sometimes, they tried, crack a joke. Over here, are you going to try to emulate that experience? Will they know our name already? How is this going to work?
That's an excellent question. I think that's definitely something we're looking into in the future, is making this into a tool that people will have access to in stores, so they can influence, your experience and make it more tailored to you when you're in the stores. But as it stands right now, we're making it more of an analytics tool for higher level executives and marketing departments and things like that, so they can take a look at, what they need to do to drive total business. But customization, yeah, that's in the future for sure.
Do you tie the profiles of customers in your brick-and-mortar stores to online profiles? And how do you do that?
Absolutely. So that's the goal. And earlier we showed you a couple of profiles of emails. The best part is, right now, if you walk into a store and then you leave, there's no way for me as a store to get back in touch with you again. So what we do is, if we send them, let's say, a copy of the receipt along with items that they could buy, those items could be online store items. And then so it really drives that omni-channel experience and takes your customers from not only the brick and mortar stores and online, but if you're able to aggregate all that data, you can really, influence them, anywhere.
Can you describe a little of the process of integrating into the POS systems in merchants?
Absolutely. So there's, I'm sure you know, a lot of POS systems out there, and it's tough. And so that's why we're being selective too about the brands we're working with. They're some of the larger brands, and they're covered by most of the retail systems. So there's two ways we can do this. Number one is we can either integrate with their email system at point of checkout. So some of them have the ability to attach your email to a receipt. So we could do that, and we can send you a copy of the receipt. Nordstrom is someone who can do that. And the second one is actually, they'll just preload onto the servers the data that they want us to analyze, and then we go through it that way.
So Nico may have asked this question. So there's really no way of knowing who the people are when they come in the store, right? So this is really, is that correct? Right. You were saying to know the customer. When the customer walks in the store, there's really no way to know who that person is, right? Yeah. So you're basically doing email campaigns saying, hey, you're a loyal customer, you should come in and buy this particular item?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this comes from, we used to work with mass merchandisers like the Walmarts and the Targets of the world, and Walmart would know 56% of the people walking through my door, for example, are moms, so let's place the diapers at the front door. And what we found with a lot of the fashion retailers is they have an idea of the range of customers that's in the store, but we really want to give them a sense of, here are the individual profiles. Maybe you don't know at what time in the day they're going to walk in, but when they walk into the store, here's what's going to drive them into the store, and really take precaution to leverage that information and insight.
Who is your customer? Who is the person that you're selling to in all these different organizations?
Right, so we're working with a couple of brands that are part of the CFDA right now, so the Council of Fashion Designers of America, and they're people who, for an industry that sets the global standard for style, I think they really have very little time to go through spreadsheets like the one I showed earlier. And so, yeah, they've been the perfect target for us. And that was the market that I was referring to earlier as well.
So do you pull all of the data into your own systems and crunch the numbers for analytics? Like how are you doing that sort of data integration? Like where is that stored? How customizable are the analytics built on top of that?
That's an excellent question as well, and thank you for asking. I think we have servers right now where we can store the data. So there's two ways we can access data, and it depends on the preference of the retailer. Either they upload it onto our servers, or we can access read-only versions of, let's say, their Magento data or whatnot. And then from there, we analyze the data according to, so those are the top 3 requests that we've gotten, which are sales, customer growth drivers, and then also the top items. If they want to customize it a little bit, that's definitely, within the range of what we're able to do as well. We just showed the most popular features here.
But I assume that all the different companies will have different ways of storing their data. So is there a certain format that you request that they put their data in before they can upload it? Or do you have people who will be working to integrate?
Right, so.
I guess the idea is we want to work with the customers directly, and whatever's easiest for them, we'll do it. But what we've seen right now is CSV.
Yeah.
Okay. So you feel like the integration cost won't be too high if you're trying to sign on a lot of partners?
No, integration is going to be a challenge, but it's nothing we can't solve, for sure. It's just a matter of working with the customers.
So analytics is one thing, but insight is a very different issue. How do you package that information to make recommendations for your merchants? Or is it incumbent upon the merchants to analyze the data?
Great question. So this was kind of my job for the past year, was to look into how to translate the data into insight, and that's what we really tried to show on the dashboard. So for instance, the customers, so there's a couple of really simple things you can run, like indices against last year's sales, or season over season, or the percentile customers. So we had a slider earlier, so you could change the top 10% to top 20%, and it gives you an ability to play with the data in a dynamic way, so you can see the insight from kind of playing around with scenarios.
And so you've been running this now with real retailers for a while. What kind of results have you seen?
What kind of results have, from the
Yeah, I mean, I would think the pitch ultimately would be, hey, run this and get better, better returns. So I'm just kind of curious what your data has shown so far.
Right, so we're in the piloting stages right now, and we haven't put the product out into the stores yet, but we're working on that, and we'll definitely let you know first when they hit stores.
Well, that was 42. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.